Setting rebar anchor dowels in cast-in-place foundations. It is extremely important to cast rebar anchor dowels accurately in the foundation. This video will demonstrate proven methods for doing this task. There are no special tools or equipment needed. It is important that a layout plan be obtained from the precaster. Some precasters provide templates, which are very helpful in creating the 3D template assembly that will hold the rebar anchor dowels in the forms. There are two situations which you will generally face in the field. One is a pattern for a column. The other is for a wall. Because of the geometry for these two applications, the template assemblies may be different. Rebar anchor dowels are really anchor bolts for the NMB splice sleeve. However, because we use rebar, you need to recognize the critical importance of locating the dowels accurately. We are really talking about the same tolerances used for anchor bolts. The American Concrete Institute, the American Institute of Steel Construction, and the Precast Pre-Stressed Concrete Institute all have codes and manuals that give the requirements for anchor bolts, and we will follow the same guidelines. Within a group of rebar dowels, each bar should be located to within 1/8 of an inch of the specified location. Any group of dowels are to be located within 1/4 inch of the specified location. It is important to recognize that precast walls and frames may have 2 or more groups of dowels spaced widely apart, and these groups are to be located within 1/8 of an inch of the specified dimension. The length of the dowels is important, but here, because we are using rebar, the dowels can be fabricated over length. We suggest ordering the bars at least 4 inches too long and cutting them back later. Remember, when you are calculating the minimum length, to add the theoretical joint between the precast and the foundation. This may be 2 inches to 3 inches in addition to the embedment length shown on the NMB dimension tables. The correct length is found in the column labeled average on the right side of the table in the field dowel section. Now that you know where the dowels are to be located and have them ordered, the key to securing them in the form is to make simple 3-dimensional template assemblies. Most contractors use a template to position anchor bolts and try to adapt this system for the rebar anchor dowels. The problem with using a template is that it only holds the bars at one elevation. The bars can pass through the template at an angle, and with the lengths required for embedment in the NMB, this angle becomes more of a problem. Larger diameter bars are difficult to bend, so accurate initial location is very important. With the assemblies having support at 2 levels, the bars are located both horizontally and vertically. There are 2 types of template assemblies. For columns, make 2 templates and separate them as far apart as possible by boards like 2x6 or 2x8 that will span the form. For walls, a simple template board may not be sufficient when dowels are spaced far apart and the wall is deep enough for the bars to hang vertical and plumb. A box frame is better suited because it allows for easy concrete placement. Use a template as a guide for making the box frame. When groups of bars are widely spaced, connect the assemblies for each precast panel. Remember to check the location by surveying the dowels both before and just after casting, as the forms tend to shift when concrete is placed. If the template assemblies have been properly located and checked, there should not be any need to move the dowels. Patterns as large as 50 bars and more have been cast with good accuracy. However, there is always the chance for error, so it makes sense to plan for some adjustment. The best way to allow for possible bending of the rebar is to create extra free length. This is especially important for larger sizes such as the popular number 11. An easy way to expose extra bar length is to use PVC pipe or corrugated plastic sleeves. After the bars are moved into position, the tubes are filled with a pre-blended non-shrink grout with compressive strength at least as high as the concrete around it. Well, that's about it. There is nothing very difficult about getting this job done, and yet it is probably the most often raised question when using the NMB splice sleeve system. Let's review the key points we have covered. The first thing is to order the dowels over length by at least 4 inches, and don't forget to include the joint thickness. Single-layer templates are not enough. The bars may be fixed at one location but are still passing through at an angle that is difficult to bend back to vertical. Use 3D template assemblies with either 2 layers of templates or box frames. Create extra free bar length by using PVC pipe or a corrugated plastic sleeve. This is your insurance policy. In case there is a problem, the bars can be brought back into alignment. Take time to survey locations both before and as you set up the forms and after casting. The forms often shift during the pour.